Hey listeners, welcome to the NetSuite podcast. I'm Megan O'Brien, a co-host of the podcast, and today I'm excited to dive into our latest product release. As many of our listeners know, we do 2 product releases per year, so this one is our first of 2025. NetSuite 2025.1 is absolutely packed with a bunch of great new features and enhancements. The latest release brings new functionality across NetSuite Connector, Bill Capture, Field Service Management, and the Suite Cloud Platform, just to name a few. There are also great new Suite apps and AI capabilities in there. We have 4 different guests breaking down the latest capabilities in detail and explaining how they benefit you. And if you're looking for more info, our sneak peek release blogs are now live on netsuite.com. See the links in the description of the episode to check those out. Stay tuned because we have a lot of exciting updates that you won't want to miss.
You're listening to the NetSuite podcast, where we discuss what's happening within NetSuite, why we're doing it, and where we're heading in the future. We'll dive into the details about the software and the people at NetSuite who are behind all the moving parts. We'll also feature customer growth stories, discussing the ups and downs of running a company and how one integrated system can help your business continue to scale.
Kicking us off is Lisa Schwarz, Senior Director of Product Marketing at NetSuite. Lisa will provide a quick preview of what's new in 2025 Release 1, including new AI-powered search capabilities and Suite answers using NetSuite Expert. She also gives a refresher on how all our customers receive the update and what they can do to prepare for it. We have a few guests joining us to dive deeper into the new functionality in the NetSuite 2025 Release 1. But could you give us a quick overview of what we'll be covering?
I sure can. We've got a greatest hits coming up for everybody. We'll be diving into the world of connectors. There's a bunch of new connectors which will be available in this release. So that will be interesting to get that update and hear about that. We'll be covering some great things around the Suite Cloud Platform. That's always super interesting. And a lot of that includes some new AI developer tools. And we'll also be exploring new things that are going around with NetSuite HIPAA compliance and some of our Compliance 360 solution.
What's the one feature in this release that you're especially excited about or see as a big win for our customers?
Whoa, well, one, I'm not sure if I could round it down to just one, but kind of my, quick wins or what's getting me excited. I think I would, give some shout outs to NetSuite Expert, which is a new capability that's bringing AI search powers to Suite answers. Suite Procurement, which is one of our new indirect procurement solution that includes partnerships with Staples and Amazon Business. We've got some new specialized user roles for CRM and NetSuite View and Approve. And these are particularly interesting for employees who only need access to specific records, reports, and tasks in NetSuite. So you don't have to always purchase a full user licenses. And then there's more pages becoming available in the Redwood UI. So getting some more refresh and a new look to a lot of things.
I wanted to quickly touch base on the logistics of the release for any new listeners, customers who have never been through this before, or those who just need a refresher. How does NetSuite deliver these new features to our users?
Absolutely. So we do 2 releases a year. All 41,000 plus customers receive the updates. Everybody is on the same release using the latest and greatest version of NetSuite, which is still amazing and always kind of blows my mind. This is the first release of the year. So with this release, accounts will be updated between mid-March through April. Each customer is assigned a date and a time that their NetSuite account will be updated. The date and the time of your update is published in the new release portlet on your NetSuite dashboard, and your NetSuite admin will also get an email with this information. If for some reason this is not a good time for the update to happen, you can go and change the date and time via the CMS tool within NetSuite. So super easy to do that. When it comes to the day of your update, you don't need to install or do anything. It's all automated. Accounts will go offline during the update time, which is scheduled for about a 4-hour period downtime. But actually, most accounts get updated in 60 minutes or less.
And what can customers do to prepare for the update?
We definitely encourage users to become familiar with what's in the release and try it out in a release preview account. So, while accounts are updated automatically and all customizations come over in the update, it's great to test out with using your own data, workflows, integrations, and customizations so there are no surprises. I don't know about you, but I don't like surprises.
No.
So, for those who are not familiar with a release preview account, this is a specialized test account that clones your production environment and has all the new features and updates in the release. So, it's a great way, also a safe way to test drive things out before you go live. It's free. You just need to have your NetSuite admin request it.
Other than this podcast, how else can customers learn more about the 2025 Release 1?
There's a bunch of ways people can learn more about what's in the release. First, you can read the sneak peek blogs, which are on netsuite.com, as well as the release notes if you want a really long read, which those are in Suite Answers. You can watch training videos, which are usually done on a lot of key features, also hosted in Suite Answers. Download them there. I definitely encourage you to talk to your account manager on a more, specific kind of basis where you can really look at, what key features may be a priority for you guys. And then we've got some webinars. So watch and attend some of these webinars. We had a webinar cover all the new features. So we went, in depth on the features, which is available to now watch on demand. But there's also a release readiness webinar on February 26th, which provides tips on how you can get ready for the release, like using the release preview account we talked about, as well as creating a test plan. This webinar will also be available on demand after the 26th. And then last, we've got some Suite Connect events, which we encourage everybody to attend. So these are one-day events that are happening all over the world over the next few months. Definitely go to netsuite.com under the events section, and I'm sure you can provide a link to that page as well. But check out the cities that we'll be coming to. These events will cover some of the new features in the release. You'll also kind of getting down a next level of actually being able to also see some demos and things like that. So definitely check out the website and see if we're coming to a city near you.
And we'll be sure to link to that and all these other great resources in our show notes. Thanks so much for joining us, Lisa.
Thanks again for having me.
This release brings several new AI features to NetSuite. And here to talk about that and other improvements to the platform is Outbound Product Manager Erik Klein. Erik offers a quick refresh on how the Suite Cloud platform works and then walks through two major features in 2025.1, the SuiteScript Generative AI API and NetSuite Prompt Studio for Text Enhance. He also dives into additional enhancements that will benefit developers. All right, Erik, let's start with a quick overview of the Suite Cloud platform. How does it work and how does it help our users get the most out of their NetSuite investment?
Hi, thanks, Megan. I'd be delighted to. But as many of our listeners are probably already aware, Suite Cloud is really all about customizing NetSuite in ways that extend the native product to support specific user tasks and ultimately achieve desired business outcomes, which, by the way, can really help businesses with an international scope as well. But a lot of our customers really, you look at their environments, their sort of business needs, and those requirements are often very unique to their individual businesses. Now, NetSuite is a very full-featured, complex product, so most of these are addressed with out-of-the-box functionality, and we also see almost a virtually unlimited range of use cases that require at least minor changes to native product functionality. And in many cases, this is really easy to do by taking steps to define things like custom records, fields, forms, custom transactions. I mean, there's a lot of flexibility there in terms of how you can customize the product and do so without writing code. However, in some cases, those changes can be pretty big, and that's where things like custom scripting, workflows, and even full applications, or what we call suite apps in NetSuite terminology. And these are often built by NetSuite. We build them, as well as our SDN partner community has a very rich library of suite apps and extensions that can be added to your NetSuite environment to deliver specific industry functionality. So think things like payment plugins, integration services, advanced financial solutions, those sorts of things. And I might point out that a lot of these more basic customizations, as I just mentioned, can be done by administrators using visual no-code tools that don't require actual software development. But I wanted to talk a little bit about this upcoming release, NetSuite 2025 Release 1. And there's a number of areas where we're really working to improve the developer experience, basically setting the stage for even more improvements on the horizon. And just kind of for a quick overview, AI is all the rage, right? So we're focusing on new ways to leverage AI and associated large language models, which, by the way, we talked a lot about at SuiteWorld 2024. And effectively, these are enabling new ways to think about software development. What does that software development lifecycle look like in the age of AI? And making it vastly more efficient than how things have traditionally been done. And really, these are solutions that benefit a wide range of user categories, certainly developers, but again, administrators can benefit from AI, lots of business users, and a wide variety of NetSuite end users themselves who can take advantage of this functionality. And in addition to AI, we're also adding a new range of capabilities. These would include things like new hardened security features based on OAuth 2. We're looking at things like specialized roles for more cost-effective access to the product. We're expanding our library of SuiteScript 2.1 code samples for software developers. We'll talk a little bit more about that on the podcast. And these capabilities really show our commitment to enhance native product functionality out of the box as much as possible, but make it easier to customize and extend where necessary. And at the end of the day, create a more efficient user experience across the entire suite. And again, since AI is all the rage, right? Lots of new AI-powered features were announced this past year at SuiteWorld 24. So, there's a lot of resources available for our listeners to learn more about what we talked about there.
Tell me about what's new for the SuiteScript developers in this release.
Well, Megan, I've got to tell you, this is a really exciting area for us. Lots is going on, and lots more is coming, some of which we can't really talk about today, but I think we've got some really tangible features and functions that we're giving developers, which provides them with the ability to connect directly to things like AI services from custom scripts. Now, it sounds like a mouthful, but we have a new API called the SuiteScript Generative AI API. And in a nutshell, this provides programmatic access to LLMs running on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI generative services. And another name for this that is probably more commonly familiar with developers is a SuiteScript NLLM module. And so depending on how it's used, it can be configured to work with a range of supported models. So that list of supported models is something that is in our documentation. We could provide links to that, and it really opens up a lot of use cases to extend the suite. And just kind of a quick example, you can use this NLLM API module to develop custom functionality, such as the ability to through the interface generate reports, summarize data. We can manipulate text, perform natural language processing queries, Really, the sky's the limit when you start to think about all of the new ways to do things that are perhaps part of your existing workflow, and then new ways to do new things like automate documentation, integrate chatbots. You can, for example, perform predictive analytics, anomaly detection, right? All of these are now within reach to any customer or partner with existing product or product that's coming out in 25.1. We've even seen some really sophisticated partner applications that consume and exchange information from LLMs to power very complex applications that at the end of the day drive great user experiences that were previously very, very hard to achieve. So again, super exciting area for us.
What else is new when it comes to AI capabilities in NetSuite 2025 Release 1?
Sure. So, there's a lot out there across sort of the landscape of NetSuite. And, just to provide a few concrete examples here, many listeners may be familiar with NetSuite Text Enhance when working with all sorts of textual content across the product. And we're adding a new feature that we're calling Prompt Studio that is effectively an AI service that extends text enhance functionality. And so in essence, this makes it super easy to create and format text-based content throughout the suite. And developers can even use Prompt Studio to generate and craft a wide range of content types. And these would include, again, reports, email templates, table-based representations of data, web pages, generate quotes, and a whole lot more. So Prompt Studio also gives us an ability to generate any external facing document and do so with a really highly polished and consistently branded appearance. So this is a pretty exciting area for us as well.
As we start to wrap up, what's been happening recently with code samples for SuiteScript developers?
Yeah, I mean, this is really interesting, right? Because developers work a lot with code samples, especially as they're onboarding to the product or they're working with new areas of the product and are writing scripts, and you want to be able to access source code based documentation, and we provide these in the help docs in the form of like snippets and examples, even full applications. And so now we're kind of building up that library of source code samples and making these available out on the GitHub repository. Really, at the end of the day, they're an invaluable resource for software developers because it shortens the learning curve when coming up to speed with things like SuiteScript and some of our APIs. And it illustrates how best to implement new or extended product capabilities and do so more efficiently. Now, in the past, we've provided literally hundreds of these types of assets in our help center, which, by the way, is also available on docs.oracle.com. So there's a web-based equivalent of our help center. It's not just in product anymore. And we're now taking these sample libraries into the public domain. So we're moving them to our public GitHub-based SuiteScript repository, and we're adding a lot of new ones over time. So really the key takeaway here is that we're serving the NetSuite developer community by providing access to some of the most current examples of technology, such as SuiteScript 2.1, right? SuiteScript's been out there for a long time. There's a lot of scripts based on 1.0 and 2.0, and we're really encouraging our customer and partner consultant developers to adopt 2.1. And so relative to the repository, this has been populated with new samples, and we will continue to add more of these with each new release, and with a big focus on ways to leverage that latest platform technology, whatever it happens to be.
When you think about all these new features, how would you summarize the value it's providing to our developers, admins, and customers as a whole?
Oh, yeah. I mean, sure. To kind of wrap up, I know we're about at the end of our time here. But again, thank you, Megan, for the opportunity to share these updates with our listeners. And it all ties back to what we often say on our team is it's about making the suite your own. Or in other ways, adapting where needed native ERP functional capabilities to the very unique needs of every business. It's kind of like going the last mile, taking the value that NetSuite provides, then dialing it in exactly to where it needs to be. From simple modifications like, creating a custom form, we talked about forms, fields, transactions before, all the way to a complete industry vertical specific application that extends the suite in new and exciting ways. And since everyone is talking so much about AI, our strategy really it boils down to exploiting opportunities to create not just a better, but a vastly more efficient way to get work done. And whether that applies to folks who are writing code or administrators, defining workflows, business users, gathering insights from business data, I mean, it all applies to these different areas. So it's a really exciting time, and I'm looking forward to sharing even more about what's new with Suite Cloud Platform for our upcoming releases in our next podcast.
We're looking forward to that too. Thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Megan.
NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system, is everything you need to grow all in one place. Financials, inventory, HR, and more. Make better decisions faster so you can do more and spend less. See how at netsuite.com/pod.
Next up, we're incredibly lucky to have Andrew Klockers, a Principal Industry Product Manager for Healthcare at NetSuite. Now, Andrew will get into this, but spoiler alert, he's actually a pharmacist who came to NetSuite to bring his healthcare knowledge to the system. He'll cover HIPAA compliance in NetSuite, as well as enhancements to Compliance 360. Thanks for joining the podcast, Andrew. Before we dive into the solution, can you share with our listeners your career path that led you to NetSuite?
Yeah, absolutely, Megan. Thanks again for having me. So currently I am the vertical product manager for the healthcare industry at NetSuite. I've been in this role for a few years now. A little bit about my background, though. Most of my experience is actually in healthcare. I'm a pharmacist by trade, and I've worked as a pharmacist and pharmacy manager in various capacities for almost 20 years prior to coming here. Both on the outpatient pharmacy side and the inpatient pharmacy side. And really kind of through that journey was garnering some additional skills, but looking for new ways to help healthcare, and made my way to NetSuite, mostly because I wish I had NetSuite when I was running my pharmacies. I mean, it would take me 10 or 12 different pieces of software to run my pharmacies, from payroll to managing the inventory, all the things that are required. I had to jump from system to system. And then when I learned about NetSuite, I was envious of the opportunity to have such a tool. And then with a growing focus of healthcare here at NetSuite and broader Oracle, that the timing just worked out well. So now I get to help folks like me who are in the healthcare space and help with their back office improvements and efficiencies. So it's been a journey, and it's an ongoing one.
That's a really unique background, and I'm so excited that we get to get your expertise today. Now, while NetSuite is not new to supporting the healthcare industry, we've had some big developments here as to what NetSuite offers this industry. Can you kind of summarize it for us?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a few trains of thought here. So as you said, we've been in the healthcare space for quite a while. We have, probably thousands of healthcare customers with a bit of a rejuvenated focus here in the recent past. I think what really kind of kicked that off was we've been working on going through the HIPAA attestation process, which we recently passed last year in May, and announced at the last SuiteWorld, which is pretty exciting. That's a common question we get asked about, is if we are HIPAA attested and will sign a BAA, and the answer is now yes to both of those things. So that's a big regulation in the healthcare space that a lot of companies expect their vendor partners to abide by, and we can now join that list. So that's exciting. We've also, to support that kind of announcement, we've created some healthcare-centered tools that we'll get into a little bit more detail today. One, we've created a NetSuite edition, a Suite Success Healthcare edition that is geared for those organizations that provide patient care and live and breathe in the world of patient data. We've taken our core NetSuite and enhanced it with healthcare-centered data, KPIs, reports, roles, all the things that kind of align with day-to-day healthcare operations in this Suite Success Healthcare edition. And to partner with that, and it comes along with it, is what we call Compliance 360. This is something that came along with the HIPAA attestation. We also announced it's basically a tool that helps our customers align the requirements of HIPAA to their needs and provide some visibility into how their users interact with their patient data in NetSuite. So again, kind of different ways we're supporting and lifting up the healthcare industry to be as successful as possible.
How has the market reacted to this?
Yeah, good question. So like I said, we announced this at SuiteWorld this past year, and we actually did some sessions around it as well, where we kind of spoke to our HIPAA journey, what was all involved, the timelines, the details, all those things, and it was met very positively. In fact, after each session, we got a lot of congratulations. I think I dished out quite a few high fives afterwards, which was a lot of fun. And so it kind of recharged the industry. I feel like there was some great attendance, great feedback, but also great awareness that we have a lot to do. There's a lot of good questions and feedback about other opportunities we have to enhance our offerings further, which we're really excited to tackle moving forward. And quite frankly, we already are tackling.
What is unique to the NetSuite solution that other solutions cannot address?
Yeah, I think I would couch the answer to that in two themes. One is aligned with kind of how we're supporting HIPAA, and I'll speak to that. And then the other is just our general healthcare Suite Success Edition and the offering that we're building and supporting these organizations with. Healthcare is a unique, very diverse industry. There's a lot of facets. There's a lot of sub-industries within the industry. And really at its core, most of them are both a service organization and a product organization, or even a mix of both. And so that's where I think our healthcare edition and just NetSuite in general adds a ton of value, because you can create a one-stop shop, if you will, for visibility to all of those key business practices, those sales avenues, and all the things that come with it, right? Like managing inventory, managing the teams that need to support that information, whether it be from a sales side or a support team. You can bring all of that together in one place. And as I mentioned before, it took me a ton of applications to run my pharmacy. And I just think about the amount of time I would have been given back had I been able to centralize that work. And not just personal time, like it would have been great to get home earlier, but I also had a team to support, and I was still seeing patients. So that's time I could have given back to them as well, that otherwise was being taken away for manual process that could otherwise be remedied with NetSuite and particularly our healthcare edition. So I think that's a big differentiator. The other, I think, is how we're supporting our customers with their HIPAA requirements. And we're doing this a variety of ways. One of the most visible that our customers will see is Compliance 360 that I mentioned. The requirement for HIPAA is really to have, we as a vendor partner need to provide visibility to how our customers' users are interacting with their most important asset, which is their customer data. And so Compliance 360 does that, and it doesn't just provide the data. We wanted to take it a step further, because you can imagine if something maybe suspicious was going on, you would need to respond to that and dig into the details to that very quickly. And so not only do we just provide that activity data, we provide KPIs and a dashboard to help guide where that behavior might be coming from, whether it be some data is being exported or printed. You're able to quickly drill into when did that happen, who did it, how did it happen. All of those things can quickly be discerned. So then that organization could determine, hey, was this a normal behavior that is occurring, or is it something maybe outside the norm that we need to dig into? So it really creates a broad foundation for conducting that research and meeting that requirement. We really wanted to take it a step further.
You mentioned Compliance 360 earlier in the conversation. Can you talk about what is new with this in the 2025.1 release?
Sure thing. We continue to invest in the solution that I just talked about because we know it's a core tenet of meeting the requirement and want to continue to make it as broad and as user-friendly as possible. So I would outline our improvements in two themes. So the first theme would be the type of information we're logging, what type of data we're collecting. We're going to be adding more of that logging into the system in the next release. If you create a custom record and tie the customer record to that, we'll start logging that. And then also emails and campaigns. So if an email goes out to a customer, or a campaign goes out to a customer, we're going to log that so you can see when it went out, who sent it out, and all that pertinent information to that information that could be sent outside of NetSuite to your patients or your customers. So that data activity is going to continue to grow, and also the usability. So from a user experience perspective, we want to enhance the features as well in the Suite app. So things like the portlets that we provide, we're going to make those more configurable so that you can align the data with your organization, making it more meaningful, drawing attention to outlying data points that might require some research a little bit more deliberately. We're also going to take it a step further from just the activity information and create a place to actually document any type of audit that the organization might be doing. There's an old adage in compliance that if you didn't document it, it didn't happen. So we wanted to create a place for our customers to document any type of audit. Doesn't necessarily have to be just with user activity. Maybe you're auditing the provisioning of your team, or doing some sort of rounding in your various departments for policy review or procedure review. All of that information can be logged, where you can create an audit, add the controls, add the outcome of those controls, did the control pass or fail, and ultimately kind of create a risk picture for that particular audit. But truly kind of creating Compliance 360 as a more 360 tool, adding different features and functionality will be the theme for not only the next release, but for the upcoming releases as we strengthen our compliance offering.
It seems like many organizations could really benefit from Compliance 360. Is it available to any customer?
It is. So great question. This came up often at SuiteWorld when we announced Compliance 360 and started having our sessions. One of the key questions we got was, hey, this is great for healthcare, but I'm a legal firm or I'm in manufacturing. We would love this type of visibility for our customer activity and the ability to document audits. Is it available to us? So our initial out of the focus industry was healthcare, but we realized there's utility here beyond just healthcare in a variety of industries and use cases. So we are making it available to any industry in North America. This will be a common theme we hear as far as wanting that type of visibility. I think, anytime you look at the news anymore, there's some sort of cybersecurity update or breach of data. Like, these are the types of tools that we want to put in the hands of our customers to help them with their organizational compliance and risk.
And how can our customers access Compliance 360?
Yeah, so it is on the Suite App Marketplace. It is available as a purchase Suite App. So the best way to move forward, if you're interested in Compliance 360, would be to look at our webpage. There's information out there about it, but also your account manager can set you up with additional information, and we can set up demos and all the things that come along with it. So those would be great places to start.
Well, this was all very useful information. Thanks so much for joining us, Andrew.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Let's close out the podcast with Eyal Amir, Senior Director of Product Management at NetSuite. Eyal came to NetSuite after his company FarApp was acquired by Oracle in 2021 and rebranded as NetSuite Connector. He covers 3 new NetSuite connectors in the 2025.1 release, designed to map data between NetSuite and third-party applications. To kick us off, can you give our listeners A, a quick overview of your role at NetSuite, and B, what NetSuite connectors are?
Yeah, of course. So I joined NetSuite back in 2021 with the acquisition, and I helped with the integration of the business into NetSuite, and was then kind of straddling 2 areas, helping oversee development and product management. And about a year ago, I finally transitioned to product, and now I run product management for a couple of products, including NetSuite Connector and EPM, which includes NetSuite Planning and Budgeting and NetSuite Account Reconciliation. My NetSuite Connector team is responsible for the product strategy and roadmap of our connector offerings, and we're always trying to add to and improve our connectors to make integrating popular products to NetSuite as seamless as possible. So for those of you who aren't familiar with NetSuite Connector, we offer pre-built integrations to some of the most popular e-commerce marketplaces and platforms, as well as point-of-sale and logistics products. You're probably familiar with many of the products we connect to, including Amazon, Shopify, eBay, Walmart, ShipStation, and some more big names in there. NetSuite Connector enables our customers to quickly activate an integration and do some simple configuration and mappings to cover the unique needs and be up and running quickly and seamlessly. The connectors run in the background, syncing the most commonly needed data so our customers can use NetSuite to manage all their channels instead of having to manage each one separately and logging into all those channels.
What are the new connectors coming in the NetSuite 2025 Release 1 update?
We're actually pretty excited that we're releasing 3 new connectors over the next several months, which is quite a lot for us. But we're happy to say that we're connecting to Salesforce, Shopify B2B, and Outlook soon. Over the years, we primarily focused on B2C e-commerce, point of sale, and logistics connectors. With these new integrations, we're expanding our offerings to include CRM, B2B e-commerce, and Office integrations. So we're opening up the door for future offerings in a lot of new areas. We're also continuing to build on our existing connectors and features and expanding our self-service capabilities, allowing our customers to handle complex configurations with ease.
Let's delve into each of these, starting with the NetSuite connector for Salesforce. Why is it valuable to our customers to have this integration?
Yeah, so Salesforce is a market leader in CRM, and so naturally many of our customers use both NetSuite and Salesforce together. With this connector, we're answering our customers' need for a seamless in-house solution to automatically share data between the two and to reduce data silos, accelerate revenue recognition, order to cash processes, and expand business insights. The connector expands visibility into order details, customer contact information, order fulfillment details, and financial information like invoices, payments, sales, etc. So this is our first connector powered by Oracle Integration Cloud, which we're also happy to say OIC is well known in the industry. It's a secure industry-leading integration service that enables customers to set up, manage, and monitor data flows via self-service interface we've provided in NetSuite. This new platform enables greater flexibility and customizability for our Salesforce connector, and customers no longer need to manually manage data in both NetSuite and Salesforce or purchase any third-party solution to connect the two. Now they can do it all with our connector.
NetSuite 2025 Release 1 also includes a new connector for Shopify, like you mentioned. Now, NetSuite already offers a Shopify integration. Could you explain how this one is different and its benefits?
We actually provide connectors for multiple Shopify offerings, including Shopify, Shopify Plus, and Shopify Point of Sale. So we've been a Shopify partner for many, many years. And with the new connector, we're adding support for Shopify's latest offering, which is Shopify B2B. The new connector supports B2B specific business processes and flows, such as B2B orders coming over to NetSuite with invoices and payments, so it fully closes out the financials, and standalone customer sync for B2B customers for CRM purposes. This enables our B2B customers who are using Shopify to have both accurate financials in NetSuite, as well as manage all their important B2B CRM functions from within NetSuite, in addition to all the flows they would get with our regular B2C Shopify connectors.
Last but certainly not least, the latest release includes a NetSuite connector for Microsoft Outlook. Seems to me like that could be huge for sales teams. Would you mind giving us, our audience, some details around that?
Yeah, we're very excited about this one because we agree. The impact for sales teams will be big. Many of our customers' sales teams use Outlook for their daily communication, but their messages stay within their own email. They're invisible to their colleagues who are collaborating on these opportunities now or in the future. So they spend tedious effort manually inputting data in NetSuite to ensure the important details from their email get tracked. And our Outlook connector solves for that. It enables users to automatically create customer contact and opportunity records in NetSuite and sync messages, file attachments, calendar events to these records, thereby enhancing NetSuite's CRM capabilities. It gives sales teams the visibility they need within NetSuite, saving them the tedious manual effort of entering important details themselves. We're continuing to build on the connector and add more features beyond message attachment and event sync, and more to come about that in the next few months.
Finally, for customers considering a NetSuite connector, what would be the key takeaway or the most significant benefit they should expect from implementing this solution in their organization? And are there any best practices that they should keep in mind?
One of our big value props, in my opinion, is time to value. Our goal is to offer seamless and robust integrations that are easy to set up and manage while handling a wide range of use cases with ease. We try to cover the most popular platforms and all the most common features for those platforms so that our customers don't have to really deal with the complexities of building integrations, which is a lot of work. By offering this in-house, our customers can leverage the expertise of NetSuite to handle both their ERP as well as their integration needs, so they can go to just one team for any implementation or support needs they may have. And in terms of best practices, what I think our customers should really keep in mind is that our integration comes with NetSuite best practices built in. We were all on board with the suite success, and now we've kept those philosophies in our product. This is one of the reasons we've been able to simplify implementations for our connectors. I think the most important best practice to keep in mind for our integrations is to sync data from the system of record for that data. So as an example, given that NetSuite is the system of record for inventory data, we'll naturally sync that out of NetSuite to our connected platforms. Syncing data from the system of record ensures you're using the systems as intended and greatly simplifies your business processes and therefore your integration flows. And reducing this complexity ensures you're up and running faster with less errors in both your manual and automated processes. So overall, following this best practice, I think, has a big impact.
This is fantastic and very exciting. Thanks so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you.
So many new capabilities for our customers to look forward to in 2025.1. And the best part is, they can access this new functionality and start reaping the benefits right now. Want more information? We've got you covered. If you want to dive deeper into any of the new functionalities we covered today, we have links to our release blogs, as well as a bunch of other valuable resources in the description of this episode. Thank you so much to all of our guests for joining us today, and a big thank you to all of you, our listeners, for tuning in. I also wanted to shout out our editing team over at Oracle that does such a great job. We are incredibly grateful to them. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe for more episodes just like this one. Bye.
You just listened to the NetSuite podcast. Be sure to tune in every week with more NetSuite developments, stories, and insights into the benefits of one integrated system to help you run your business.